go. Just setting up the camera, and it's set up. Hair looks a little bit wet, so I just had a shower. Welcome to the most recent episode of the Popcorn King. I think this must be like episode 24 or something, I'm not sure. Points if you can guess what the film is in the background. So today I'm doing a couple of reviews, and then I'm also going to be going over my predictions, my September predictions for the acting categories in the Oscars this year. I mean, the year of 2025, but obviously the Oscars will be in 2026. So that's going to be coming up a little bit later. But first, I just wanted to start off with a review of a TV series that I watched on Netflix recently called Primeval. So Primeval is a brand new Netflix series starring Taylor Kitsch, Dane DeHaan, Betty Gilpin. And I'm going to read you the synopsis. I'm just looking at this. Direction is my computer, okay, just so you know. So the synopsis reads like this. It follows the gritty and adventurous exploration of the birth of the American West, the violent collision of cults, religion, one and the same thing, and men and women fighting for control of the new world. I like it when people call it the new world. It's a new world from a West, like from a European perspective. It's just a normal world, I guess. Just the world they've always had in the perspective of the Native Americans. So this film has, like I say, TV series has Taylor Kitsch. Oh, is someone knocking on my door? One moment. No. So, Taylor Kitsch, Dane DeHaan, Betty Gilpin. I would say the main storyline is about this woman and a kid trying to travel across some of the Wild West, I guess, to get to her husband. But it's a dangerous journey, so they get this incredibly dour man, Taylor Kitsch, to sort of help them. And I would say that's the main story. What did I think of this series? I thought that this series was, quite frankly, not bad. Not amazing, not like incredible viewing, but not bad. Like I enjoyed it here and there. I thought it was quite good in places. It was extremely gritty. I do believe this is nominated for an Emmy. It was extremely gritty. Like the scenes of like scalping, like where the Native Americans would scalp the Europeans in the head and rip off a bit of their. Dane DeHaan sort of has that half done to him, and then he's kind of just does the rest of the whole season of this TV show with this horrific injury, and you're like, you probably should have died. That looks incredibly painful and horrific. Like I say, the film is really gritty. Like, they did not pull any punches with sort of the violence of that time. And there's this kind of a subplot, or maybe it's just part of the main plot, I guess, of Mormons really the early part of the church of the Church of Latter-day Saints, and sort of them trying to control territory, get enough territory there, and the things that they would do. Like, who knew the Mormons could be so vicious? Like, when you look at Mormons these days, when I think of Mormons, I think of the musical The Book of Mormon, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and they're just happy-go-lucky, the most cheery, optimistic people that you could ever meet. For some reason don't drink coffee, and they don't need coffee. Now that I think about it, that makes total sense. Like if you're going to be a Mormon and you're that kind of person that is so sort of happy and positive and high on life, you don't need coffee. But yeah, like who knew that their history starts with like war and viciousness, these huge battles. Just it just looks like a terrible time to be alive, to be honest with you, those times. Um it's a little bit similar. It shares some DNA with that other TV series. What was it called? It's part of the Yellowstone. I'm just going to look it up. It's part of the Yellowstone sort of universe. Um, but it's like the prequel to Yellowstone. I believe it's called 1883, maybe? Or 1882. 1883. Yeah, with Sam Elliott. Um, it's kind of set at a similar time, and it's about traveling across dangerous terrain. I much preferred 1883. It was not as good as 1883 in my opinion. Taylor Sheridan has really honed his style and honed his skill at filming cowboys in the Wild West. He is so good at telling stories set in that world. And yeah, I would say this one kind of lacks it. This one's almost too gritty and dour. Like at some points you're a bit like, ugh, just all give up and die. Like this does not seem worth it. This just seems just unbearably horrible. And we find out some information in the middle of this series where we realize, oh, well, even the destination they're trying to get to doesn't feel like it's going to be, at least in 1883, we know that the destination they're trying to get to leads to the Yellowstone ranch one day, you know? But in this, it's just like, well, even the place that you guys are trying so desperately hard to get to does not sound like it's going to be any better. Like, this is just a very, very tough life that you guys are choosing for yourself. I really must say, like, those days when the Europeans came to America and started, you know, killing all the Indians and then fighting against the French as well, and then also, I guess, fighting against the British, and then at the same time Mormons popping up and having to fight against the Mormons and stuff, and there just being this sort of lawlessness, but some kind of law trying to be kept. That whole period just really feels like I'd rather die than live there. Like, it just seems crazy that basically all these people from Europe and Britain who knew the sort of, and were used to their own sort of way of life, would come to a completely different continent with a completely different way of life and all try and survive there and enforce their quote unquote better way of life onto this land, and just the bloodshed, the absolute just sort of non-stop fight for survival. It just seems awful. So yeah, it's so gritty, this show, and in my opinion, not as good as 1883, but still not bad, not a bad show at all. So really, in the first episode, there's a great scene of Native Americans killing a bunch of Mormons and cowboys and stuff, and there's loads of like these long shots of cows running and like bulls running into like carts and carriages and things, and it's just yeah, really visceral show. I guess I recommend it if you're into it. I'm into that kind of time period. I like watching it. But yeah, this one's super gritty. Maybe you'd like it. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Let me know if you've seen the film that's on in the background. I'd love to know if anybody, like 10 points to the first person who guesses the film that's on in the background. It's all blurry, but there's some clues, I guess, in there. And yeah, I'm just would just be super interested to hear your thoughts I would like leave your comments below. Hit that like button, obviously. Subscribe and follow. That'd be lovely. But I would just love to read your thoughts. I would love, 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 love to hear them. Next, I am going to be doing a review of a movie that I saw in the cinema, and this movie is called Roses. The Roses, to be precise. The Roses is the brand new Olivia Colman and Benedict Cumberbatch movie, starring Olivia Colman and Benedict Cumberbatch, and some other people as well. Kate McKinnon. Who else is in this movie? We've got Andy Samberg. We've got... Oh, that's pretty much everybody that I know that's in it. I mean, I love Andy Samberg. I love Kate McKinnon. I love Benedict Cumberbatch. And I love Olivia Colman. So I'm sort of primed to like this. So what did I think of Roses? No, wait. Before I tell you what I think of Roses, I'm going to read the synopsis, of course. The synopsis reads thusly. A tinderbox of competition and resentments underneath the facade of a picture-perfect couple is ignited when the husband's professional dreams come crashing down. This is sort of like a rom-com or an end of a romance-com. Obviously, it's got the two very, very famous British actors, Olivia Colman, Oscar-winning Olivia Colman, I do believe, Benedict Cumberbatch. And it does have a British flavour to it. There's some British humour in there, definitely. Some really witty dialogues. But yeah, I would say I found it quite funny. Like, there were some really, really funny moments. Like I say, great, very British comedy in there. There is one, I wouldn't even call it a joke. It's just a plot device, a plot point, I guess. Where, and I've heard other people talking about this. I heard, what's his name? So, Mark Commode talking about this on his review. And I find it interesting. So, I guess spoiler alert if you don't want to know anything. I mean, there's not much to spoil, really. This is kind of a remake of another movie, or it's a retelling of an original story. But Olivia Colman has allergies, and if she eats certain things, I think it's cherries or something, she starts to die and needs like an anaphylactic sort of shock injection. And she's a chef in it, so she deliberately, when she really, really wants to try something, will eat the food that will start to kill her, start to go into anaphylactic shock, and then Benedict Cumberbatch will come and save her with their needles. Now, some people are saying this is an incredibly unsafe joke to say, because people might think that that's something they could potentially do and be fine, and it's not the case at all. And if you go into anaphylactic shock, having the injection isn't the end of the healing process. You probably need to go to hospital as well. So yeah, some people are kind of angry about that joke. I personally think the joke wasn't that funny, but I also don't think, like, you know, you should be able to joke about bad things like that. I feel like Ricky Gervais always says, and I kind of agree with him here, that jokes are made for sort of bad things. We don't need to laugh really about the good things. They're already good, you know. We don't need to laugh about sunshine and flowers and you know, balloons. They're already nice and colourful and lovely. Like, the jokes are here so we can laugh at the hard stuff in life. So that's what I kind of think. Like, yeah, you should be able to make a joke about anaphylactic shock. I just think, I guess the joke in it was not that funny. So that's the only thing I really got to say about it. I do believe you should be able to make jokes about anything. It's not a fucking step-by-step guide on how to have allergies. It's a comedy movie. You know, you're not meant to take it seriously. But some people obviously think it's a a serious subject and you shouldn't joke about it. I disagree. I think serious subjects should be joked about. That's what jokes are kind of for. Anyway, what else did I think of this film? Like I said, extremely witty. There's some very, very witty lines of dialogue delivered by Olivia Colman and Benedict Cumberbatch. And it's balanced. It's this battle between these two people who are sort of falling out of love with each other. And it's not that one person is way better at this than the other. It is very balanced. So I really, really loved that. Olivia Colman just gave such funny, biting remarks to Benedict Cumberbatch. I will say one thing. It does lack, and I guess this is sort of built into the fabric of the story, which is a couple that have already been together for a long time and are now falling out of love. Whereas other British sort of rom-coms, usually the other way around. It's people meet and then fall in love. So the Hugh Grant films, basically, like Notting Hill, For Weddings and a Funeral, those films. But yeah, I feel like this one slightly lacked a little bit of the British sort of rom-com charm. And like I say, that might just be because of the fabric of the story, which is it's not about falling in love, it's about falling out of love in some sense. I mean, in some sense, it's kind of about just remaining in love as well. But yeah, it just lacks a little bit of the charm. I would say the charm of British rom-coms. And British rom-coms can be a lot of irony in British rom-coms, or just British comedy in general. There can be a lot of sarcasm, sarcastic tones, very under the breath innuendo, where people say things but mean another thing. There's lots of that kind of stuff in British humor, but it's usually done within the frame of like a cute sort of small British story. The idea of two Brits having this kind of love story is usually done within the context of something kind of charming. In this one, Olivia Colman and Benedict Cumberbatch live in America, have American friends, do big things that Americans do, like live in big mansions and start big successful businesses and do all that really super successful stuff that Americans seem to love. Like, I mean, obviously everyone loves to be successful, but Americans just really pride on their characters being successful as well. Like Olivia Colman just builds this great, excellent business as a chef. Benedict Cumberbatch, not so much. His business sort of falls apart, but then he's really successful at being a dad. In a lot of British comedy, I would say a lot of our characters are not successful in life. We like the downtrodden. We can relate to that in Britain. In America, there's anything is possible mentality. In Britain, it's more like, oh, the fuck, like, what's the point? Like, life is just grey and miserable, and we just sort of accept that and wear that on our shoulders. In America, like, wisecracking, big dreams, like that's so American and so like and like great, or really admirable. But yeah, like this is a British comedy set in an American context with like these big successful businesses and stuff and mansions and things. And it's like, yeah, I feel like that kind of strips away the charm of the British rom-com a little bit. Like, they're all just a bit too successful. Like, take Notting Hill, for example. It's a guy with like fucking mayonnaise on his top, with basically a rundown travel bookshop, with like still living with a housemate, and just an awful housemate who's just sort of walking around in his pants all the time. No one ever seems to properly have enough money. Like in Notting Hill, his best mate tries to open a restaurant and it completely fails, and they all have a dinner where they kind of celebrate the failure of the business. That's so British, That's so. There's something about being in Britain where it's like the top of Britain is the king and queen, and there's just no path for a peasant or a normal person to reach that level. So we know we're never going to reach the top. We're just sort of stuck underneath. Whereas in America, like, you grow up thinking, hey, I could possibly be the president of the United States, most powerful person in the world. Like, that's something you guys carry. Like, the Americans really do carry that. And that's great. Like, what a great sense of positivity. Like, anything's possible. The American dream, wonderful. In England, we do not have that. That's not in our culture, which is why our humor is a bit darker, a little bit more sarcastic. So yeah, that's again, like, I hate to repeat myself, but that's why I feel like this is kind of lacking the British charm slightly. It's got two characters who are very British, but within the context of like a more American thing, yeah, like, it loses a little bit, I have to say. But still really funny, still worth a watch. I do recommend it. Let me know what you thought. Do you notice that difference between sort of American and British humor, and the differences between? I'm not saying one is better than the other. Like, I love British Office and I love the American Office. You know, I love both of them. But yeah, like, watch both series and tell me what you think of the differences between our sort of cultures and humor. And that's a really great sort of case study, because they almost have, like, the first season, the first episode is almost like word for word identical, the same script, basically. But yeah, just, it's different. It is different. I'd love to know what you thought in the comments below. Let me know if you've guessed what this movie is behind me. That's a little new thing that I'm doing. I just put this movie on before, and I was like looking at it in my camera, and I was thinking, I wonder if anyone would ever guess what that movie is. Who knows? Maybe you will. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, I want to read your comments, guys. I would love to know what you guys thought. Next, I am doing a review of a movie that I personally call Caught Stealing. Caught Stealing is the brand new Austin Butler movie, starring Austin Butler, directed by Darren Aronofsky. Darren Aronofsky has got a fucking exceptional filmography. What did I think of Caught Stealing? I'll give you a hint. It's not his best film. However, it's hard to do his best film because so many of his films are amazing. You know, The Whale a couple of years ago with Brendan Fraser, just an incredible film. And then don't forget, he did The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke. I don't know if Mickey Rourke won the Oscar for that, but Brendan Fraser, I believe, won the Oscar for The Whale. And Mickey Rourke, I think he did win the Oscar for that. So he's like the kind of Oscar-winning. Like, if you want to be an actor who's going to win an Oscar, do a Darren Aronofsky movie. You know, he directed Natalie Portman in Black Swan. He did Requiem for a Dream. He did so many incredible films. He did Noah. He did Mother. He's just done so many amazing films. And now he's done Caught Stealing. Now, Caught Stealing is about a burned out ex-baseball player named Hank Thompson unexpectedly finds himself embroiled in a dangerous struggle for survival amidst the criminal underbelly of 1990s New York City. This film also has Matt Smith in it. What did I think of this film? I thought it was entertaining. Yeah, I thought it was entertaining. I really love watching Austin Butler. I feel like he's just on a string of movies that I think is great. You know, with Dune, Elvis, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think he's still got a little bit of room to develop, obviously. But I think he's just making some really great choices in his career. He's not gone down the superhero path or anything like that, even though he's got the superhero body. Like, he looks muscular in this film. And he's obviously got the rugged sort of handsome looks. But yeah, he's definitely more of that sort of... He kind of reminds me more of like the old sort of James Dean leading men. More brooding, a bit more quiet. This film also has Zoe Kravitz in it. She's wonderful in this film, and yeah, just an entertaining film, like a fun sort of 90s vibe film. Just seeing this guy accidentally get sort of mixed up with the criminal underbelly of New York in those times, it's kind of like oh no, and then oh no, shit, oh, he's really deep in it. It's kind of funny at some moments. There's some, good action scenes, I guess, and yeah, it's just a few twists and turns in there. It's not groundbreaking like a lot of Darren Aronofsky movies, but it's a good, entertaining film. I recommend it if you want to watch it. Bad Bunny's in it as well, doing a fine job. The only thing that I guess I've got to make some comment on is Matt Smith. Now, if you're British, you know Matt Smith as Doctor Who. He was also in The Crown. He played who did he play? The Queen's husband, Philip. And he's in the Game of Thrones, House of Dragon, that's what it's called. And so he's kind of got that sort of regal, relatively posh look about him, posh voice. Now in this, he plays like a British punk, like Sex Pistols, The Clash, kind of sort of punk rocker, a punk rocker, real punk rocker, with the mohawk and everything. And he does a real kind of southern cockney kind of accent, and I'm not sure it necessarily suits him. He did his best. He did his absolute best. He's a great actor. I do think Matt Smith's a wonderful actor. He did his best, but yeah, like I'm not sure it's just his face suited. My brother was like, I saw it with my brother, and my brother was like, something about Matt Smith's face never suits never suits the character that he's playing. And it's like, it's kind of true. Like his face does kind of always stand out a bit. You're like, has that face been superimposed onto, like, it doesn't seem natural, the face, for some reason. It seemed natural in Doctor Who, but yeah, like especially as a punk, you're like, that face does not fit that personality. But he did his absolute best. Good actor. Entertaining film. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. See if you can guess what that movie is going on behind me. 10 points if you can guess what it is. And I would just love to read your comments. Really. I would love to read them. Right, now we've got to the point of the show where I am going to be doing Oscar predictions, the acting category. So I'm going to be going through Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress. So, strap right in. Let's start off with Best Actor. I've got a couple of honorable mentions. So, obviously, a lot of these films that these actors are in, I've not seen yet. They don't come out in the UK until a bit later, apart from one, basically. But yeah, I've not seen any others. So I'm just purely guessing, just going by the vibes, going by reviews that I'm reading, going by the sort of reactions from the film festivals. But so I guess I'll go from bottom to the top. You can probably guess who my top one is, but I'll give some honorable mentions. People who I don't think, at this moment, they're not on my list. For example, Colin Farrell. He's not on my list right now, but he could be. I'm hearing really great things. Colin Farrell, I feel like the Academy love him. They want to award him on something. He's in a movie called Ballad of a Small Player. Not seen it, don't know what it's about, just hearing really good things about him and his performance. I just can't put it in my top 5 quite yet. Wagner Moura, from the film The Secret Agent. Again, hearing kind of good things about that, slightly mixed things, but a lot of people just saying his performance is wonderful. One that I did have in my top five was Leonardo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another. I've just started to hear reactions and a bit more sort of rumblings for some other actors in this. And, I do think Leonardo DiCaprio has a really good chance because it's Leonardo DiCaprio in a movie that everybody's excited to see, but I'm not sure if anyone's actually even seen this movie yet. And so I'm not hearing anything yet. I just know that, okay, the collaboration with the director and stuff is bound to be good, But but yeah, I can't put it in my top five quite yet. Maybe you have it in your top five. Also, I'm not putting in my top five, and I know a lot of people probably are, is Jesse Plemons for Begonia. I kind of heard mixed things about it. I think Lanthimos, Yorgos Lanthimos, I believe people are kind of saying not necessarily his best. Some people, and I included, did kind of have the opinion that the Academy just love him at the moment. And they did love him. With Poor Things? The Favourite? Those two films did really well. But Kind of Kindness didn't do so well. I mean, it did nothing. And I think this film maybe looks more along the lines of A Kind of Kindness. I think it's probably better than Kinds of Kindness, but yeah, I'm not sure the Academy are going to embrace this one. So yeah, I'm not putting Jesse Plemons in my top five yet. And then the other one I'm not putting in my top five, and this might be crazy. Maybe I'm crazy for this one. I'm not putting Jeremy Allen White. He's playing Springsteen in Springsteen. Deliver Me From Nowhere. I don't know Springsteen that well. I know that Jeremy Allen White is a great actor and probably looks a lot like Springsteen in this film. But I have to say, these sort of musician biopics, they do often get nominated, but I'm getting a little bit like... I don't think it's an incredible transformation from him, just from what I've seen in the adverts. So I'm not sure. The jury's out. The jury is still out at the moment. Like, I have no idea what people are going to think of this film. I'm just not excited about it because I'm not a Springsteen guy. I didn't, maybe I like one or two of his songs. But, so maybe it'll be good. I don't know. So let me just get to my actual five, my top five. So, at number five, I'm personally putting Michael B. Jordan for Sinners. Is his performance outstanding? It's good. It's a good performance, but he's playing twins, That's always impressive. That's gonna be on the Academy's mind. It's also like this collaboration with the director. I feel like the director is just incredible. Directed one of the absolute best scenes in Sinners. One of the best scenes of the year, that music scene in the middle. I just think that they kind of go hand in hand, Michael B. Jordan and the director of that film. I just think I think people sort of see that as a duo, as like a proper collaboration, because those two work together all the time. They love each other. So I'm personally putting Michael B. Jordan on there. Number four, just because I can't bet against him because he's the best actor that I've ever seen, is Daniel Day-Lewis in Anemone. Don't really know what it's about. The trailer looks really good. Just long dialogue based movie with Daniel Day-Lewis and Sean Bean going at it. Looks wonderful. I just can't ever leave Daniel Day-Lewis off a list because he's just too good. The Academy love him. It's the big sort of coming back party because he kind of retired. So yeah, I just think I've got to have him in my list, my top five list. I'll move this up a little bit. There we go. At number three, I never thought I'd say this for an Oscar film. At number three, personally, I have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson for The Smashing Machine. This is one of the Safdie brothers movies. I do believe this is a Safdie brothers year, Safdie versus Safdie. And I think Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is getting some proper buzz for this movie. I think people are really, really excited about his performance. It's got a great narrative. You know, this blockbuster actor who's only ever done sort of these one-dimensional blockbustery characters, he just rides on his charisma, just stripping it all back and doing this sports biopic. Yeah, I think he may be in for an Oscar nomination. Don't think he's going to win, but he's in for a nomination. Now, number 2 is, for me, Brendan Fraser, Rental Family. So, I've seen the trailer. Everybody loves Brendan Fraser. The movie looks incredible. Everybody is just saying it's a wonderful, feel-good movie. I feel like it could be Rental Family's year, you know. Like, sometimes the Oscars just like to go for a feel-good movie. We haven't had one since Coda, which is, you know, getting up there. What was that, like 3-4 years ago now? And so, yeah, I do think Brendan Fraser, he looks like he's playing a character that everybody is just going to fall in love with. And I'm so excited to see that. Now, number 1, you've probably guessed, number 1 on my list is Timothy Chalamet for the Marty Supreme movie, which is the other Safdie brothers movie, the ping pong film. I just think it's Timothy Chalamet's year. Like, he is just on this run of great films, doing his absolute best. Like, his speech of, like, I'm in it to be the greatest actor of all time. It's like weird speech, but like that's what he wants to do. That's what his goal is, and I think he's making the right steps to maybe be the next Daniel Day-Lewis one day. Who knows? So that will be my number 1 pick. Yeah, Marty Supreme. Timothy Chalamet. I'm curious, do you agree with my list? So yeah, number 1, Timothy Chalamet for Marty Supreme. My number 2 pick is Brendan Fraser for Rental Family. My number 3 pick is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, crazy I know, for The Smashing Machine. Number 4 pick, Daniel Day-Lewis for Anemone. And then my number 5 pick is Michael B. Jordan for Sinners. What a interesting collective race. Who knows? I could be completely off of some of these. Maybe Jeremy Allen White, Jesse Plemons, and Leonardo DiCaprio will replace 3 of mine. But who knows? That's what I've got at the moment. Who have I got for Best Actress? I'm going to go in reverse order again. But yeah, I'll give some honorable mentions that aren't in my top 5 first. Emma Stone. I'm not putting her in my top 5. I'm sorry. Again, I'm talking about that Lanthimos film that I spoke about with Jesse Plemons. I just don't think it's going to hit as hard. I think it's maybe there's just some stronger films this year. Sydney Sweeney, I'm not putting in there for Christie. I think maybe not so many people are putting that in there anyway, but I just, haven't heard enough good stuff about it. If I'm honest with you, I feel like the actress category is a tiny bit thinner than the male actor category. Sorry, that's so weird to say. Tessa Thompson, I'm not putting in there for Hedda, although I am hearing some really fun things about that. Amanda Seyfried, her performance is supposed to be wonderful, but I'm just not hearing the best of things for The Testament of Anne Lee. It's this musical performance, but it's a weird musical apparently. We will see. The Oscars do love to put musical performances in there, but I've got someone else who's in a musical to go in there. And then I'm also not putting in Jennifer Lawrence for Die, My Love. So I've heard some good things about that as well. The trailer looks wacky and weird. Looks like she's doing a great performance, but the 5 that I've got, I think I'm almost pretty certain on, actually, if I'm honest with you. So at 5, I've got Rose Byrne. I know she's a comedy actress, but she's dipping her toe into some serious acting here for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. And everybody is just saying the buzz is off the charts. Julia Roberts for After the Hunt. Now, I actually do think After the Hunt is kind of dead. Like, it had a lot of buzz. Like, people were excited to see it. but it's come out and people have gone, it's fine. It wasn't amazing. But people are still saying Julia Roberts' performance is noteworthily good. And she's got a good storyline as well. She's been off for a while, and then she's back with a bang. And I think she's a wonderful actress. So Julia Roberts, After the Hunt, I'm putting her at my number 4. My number 3, I am putting, my personal one that I'm most excited to see this year is Cynthia Erivo for Wicked for Good. I just think the Academy loved the first Wicked film, and they loved Cynthia Erivo, and I just don't see why they would not love her again. Like, she is wonderful in the first film, and I think she's going to continue to be wonderful in the second film. Sometimes people say that Oscars don't love sequels, but I feel like that's a specific type of sequel where it's like, we made one movie and then they were like, now maybe we should make another movie because that movie was so well received, and so they do a sequel. This is just like one big movie. This was always designed to be a 2-film. They shot them back to back. It's one continuous storyline, and it's going to end and culminate here. I love the musical myself. People, for some reason, are saying the second act of Wicked isn't as good just because it doesn't have that big Defying Gravity song. It's not true. The second act is wonderful. The second act really brings everything together. You've got No Good Deed Goes Unpunished that she has to sing, which is just incredible. For Good, the song For Good, I have been changed for good. It's top 3 duets in musical theatre history. It is such a beautiful duet. It's going to have everyone in tears. I personally also love As Long As You're Mine. I think that song's incredible. Like, the second act has some great songs. Yes, Defying Gravity is one of the sort of most uplifting songs of all time from musical theatre, I would say. But For Good, that duet is so well written. It is so beautiful in a completely different way that Defying Gravity. Like, Defying Gravity is so triumphant. It's got the battle cry at the end. It's iconic in those ways. But I Have Been Changed for Good. This duet is just, it's delicate, but it's so heartfelt. Like, you know that moment in the first Wicked where they go to the Ozdas ball, and Cynthia Erivo's character, Elphaba, comes in wearing the hat, and everyone laughs at her, and everyone does a big circle around her, and she starts dancing, and people start laughing because her dancing is really weird. And then Ariana Grande comes and dances with her and wipes away one of her tears, as in, like, be strong. You do not need to cry. You're amazing. That feeling in that scene was so good in the first film. And in the second act, the second film, that duet they sing is like, it encapsulates that feeling of these two sisters, basically. Sisters in, like, the friendship way, not literal sisters. But these two sisters, these people who met each other and changed each other, it is such a beautiful song. So can't wait to see it. I think it's going to blow people away. I'm glad people are underestimating the second movie. People's thinking, oh, the second act isn't as good, because it's going to rip your soul out. It's going to rip it out. Okay, so who have I got in second place? I've got Renata Renz. I didn't know how to say her name. I'm so sorry. But from Sentimental Value, obviously everyone's just saying her performance is incredible. I am also hearing it's not as good as her performance in The Worst Person in the World. So that's why she's not my number one. My number one is, of course, Jessie Buckley for Hamnet. Everybody is just saying it is incredible. Jessie Buckley, Hamnet. She is my strong number one at the moment. My strong number one. The Academy want to give her something, And this is their opportunity to do that. So that is my actress list. Number 1, Jessie Buckley for Hamnet. Number 2, Renata Reinsve for Sentimental Value. Cynthia Erivo at number 3 for Wicked for Good. Julia Roberts for After the Hunt at number 4. And then number 5, I've got Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Now, what have I got for the supporting actings? Let's do actress first this time. Oh, so many names I can't. I'm so bad at pronouncing names. I'm so sorry. Io Edibiri for After the Hunt. I'm not putting her in my top 5. I'm sorry. I just think After the Hunt, it's just going to be Julia Roberts for After the Hunt. So she's just not going to be in it. Jennifer Lopez for Kiss of the Spider Woman, another musical performance. I'm hearing really good things about it, but I'm not sure it's gonna hit the top 5. So she's not in my top 5. Inga Ibsdotter Lilias for Sentimental Value. Also not putting her in my top 5. That could be a mistake. Gwyneth Paltrow, I'm not putting in my top 5 for Marty Supreme, even though I do have Timothée Chalamet for Marty Supreme. That could also be a mistake. Like, I'm really unsure about this category, if I'm honest with you. I could swap some in, some out. Laura Dern, I'm also not having there for Jay Kelly. Yeah, I forgot to say, like, I'm not putting George Clooney in my top 5 for the best actor. I just don't think Jay Kelly is getting the all round amazing reviews that it kind of needs to have for this. So I'm not putting them in. I'm sorry, I'm just not doing it. You can't force me. So at number 5, I'm putting Ellie Fanning for Sentimental Value. I feel like I could swap that with Inga, but I just don't know. I haven't seen it. I'm just hearing good things about both of them, but I'm only going to choose one. So I kind of just almost randomly chose one because I haven't seen it, but I've heard both of them are really good. I'm putting Ella Fanning in there. Maybe people are starting to think that she's been around for a while now doing these movies. Maybe she kind of is starting to deserve it. So I'm putting her in. I guess I'll make my mind up more once I see it. Mari Yamamoto for Rental Family. I heard her performance is beautiful. I heard so many performances in Rental Family are good, so I'm just sticking a lot of them in there at the moment. I think it's going to be a case of the Academy and just in general, people love it and just want to award it because it's just a film that makes them feel great. So I'm putting her in. I can't wait to see that film. Emily Blunt is my number 3 choice, who I'm putting in for The Smashing Machine. I think The Smashing Machine is going to be so good. People are really giving it some great reviews. And she, yes, is a supporting character, and sometimes the sort of wife of the biopic main star is a less interesting role to play. But I think Emily Blunt's character in The Smashing Machine has her own demons. I think she might be a recovering addict or just an addict for either alcohol or drugs. I feel like I think she's got one of those. So I think she's in her own right going to have her own struggles, and it's not just going to be the wife who's sort of on the side of the main character. I think she's going to have her own struggles here. So that's super interesting. I think she's going to get nominated, and the Academy love her. And then number 2, maybe you guys are not putting her in your top 5, but this is one of the films I've seen this year, and I thought she was flipping wonderful. Amy Madigan for Weapons. I think Weapons, everybody loved Weapons. Absolutely everybody who saw Weapons loved it, and people aren't putting it in their lists anywhere, and I don't really understand why. Like, I think Amy Madigan's performance was just inspired. Just as soon as you saw her, you were like, I'm not going to forget her. Like, the moment she walks into shot, And I'm not just talking about the makeup she's wearing. I'm talking about her performance, how she carries herself, the way she walks through the door. We see her. You think, I am not going to forget this person for the rest of this whole year. She's unforgettably good in that film. But she's not my number one. My number one choice is, of course, Ariana Grande for Wicked for Good, for all the same reasons as Cynthia Erivo. She's the other half of that song I was talking about, For Good. I've been changed for good. There's a reason they called it Wicked for Good, because they know that this song is one of the best duets ever written for a musical. It's so beautiful, and she's the other half of it, and I think it's going to suit her voice so much. I think the Academy they just loved her performance in the first film, and she was a revelation. She was really a revelation. She played that role so well, and there's so much more for her to do in the second film. So I'm excited to see it. Now I'm just going to run through it again. So my number one is Ariana Grande. De Grande, I said before. Ariana Grande for Wicked for Good. Amy Madigan for Weapons. Emily Blunt is my number 3 choice for The Smashing Machine. My number 4 choice is Mari Yamamoto for The Rental Family. I just think that's going to, across the board, do really well. And then this is my kind of, I could switch her in with Inga, but my number 5 place is sort of Ellie Fanning for Sentimental Value. That's who I've got. So let's finally do the best supporting actor. So again, have not seen any of these films, so it's hard to say, but I'm not putting in Mark Hamill for The Life of Chuck, even though I am hearing some good things about that. I mean, I saw the film. I thought he was fine. He was great part, but I just don't think people care about that movie anymore. Stephen Graham, I'm not putting in for Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. I'm not putting in Jude Law for The Wizard of the Kremlin, although I'm hearing some fun things about his performance. Jeremy Strong for Springsteen as well. Like, I just don't think Springsteen's going to hit. I'm sorry, I don't. I feel like maybe people are like, yeah, biopic, schmiopic. Music biopic, schmiopic. Schmick. And Andrew Garfield for After the Hunt. I honestly think After the Hunt is kind of going to fall flat a bit, apart from Julia Roberts. So who have I got at number 5? Just because he looks like he's a side-by-side performance with Daniel Day-Lewis in Anemone, I'm putting Sean Bean. Everyone loves Sean Bean. And I wonder how he's going to get killed in this film, because Sean Bean dies in every film, as everyone knows. In my 4th place, I'm putting Paul Mescal for Hamnet. Again, Hamnet with Jessie Buckley and Paul Mescal, directed by Zoe Zhao. Amazing reviews. The reviews are just off the charts good. He just has to come along with it. The same thing for my number 3 pick for Rental Family. Again, I'm giving Rental Family. I feel like people are just going to love the film. It's going to make them feel good, and they're going to want to just dish out nominations. So Akira Emoto for The Rental Family. I reckon he's going to get nominated. Now, top 2. Really interesting. I kind of go back and forth here. But at the moment, my number 2 is, just because I'm hearing mixed things about Jay Kelly, I'm putting Adam Sandler. Although people are saying Adam Sandler is great. And I know people want to award Adam Sandler, because, quite frankly, Adam Sandler needs to stop making shitty comedy films. Like, he's made too many in a row. He needs to realize that where his talents now lie. He used to be great at making comedy films, I guess. But now he's shit at making comedy films, and his talents lie in serious acting. So this film, apparently he's just great. So Adam Sandler at number 2 for Jay Kelly. So which leaves, of course, my number 1 is Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value. Everyone's just saying probably his best performance. So that's why he's just my number 1 for supporting actor. Obviously, I have not seen it, So probably some of these are going to switch by next month. I'll try to do one of these every month. But yeah, by next month probably it will switch. So who knows? But yeah, my number one, Stellan Skarsgård, sentimental value. Number two, Adam Sandler for Jay Kelly. Number three, I've got Akira Emoto for Rental Family. Number four, I've got Paul Mescal for Hamnet. And then number five is a wild card, Sean Bean for Anemone. Let's see how wrong I am. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me know if you can tell, if you can guess what the film is that's been playing behind me. I know it's all blurry and stuff, but I'd be very impressed if any of you have sort of worked it out. I just put it on before this and I saw it in the background of my camera and I was like, I wonder if anyone would ever be able to guess what that movie is. Not some like super, super obscure movie, but you know, not the most well-known movie either. So it's a sort of middle ground movie. Let me know what you thought. One of my most favorite actors of all time is in this movie. That's a little hint. But yeah, let me know what you thought. I would love to know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much. I love you all.